Marcia Brady, played by Maureen McCormick on the iconic television show The Brady Bunch, quickly became one of the most recognizable faces of 1970s family television. Known for her glossy blonde hair, symmetrical features, and effortless charm, Marcia embodied the quintessential girl next door. However, like many characters built on the image of perfection, the illusion sometimes slipped, revealing vulnerabilities both in the storylines of the show and in the real life of the actress behind the role. One of the most memorable and humanizing moments for Marcia came in an episode where she gets hit in the nose with a football. Leading up to the incident, she was excited about an upcoming date and was deeply concerned with her appearance. When the accident left her with a swollen nose, she became convinced that her beauty, and by extension, her social value, had been ruined. This plotline humorously and poignantly highlighted how much pressure Marcia felt to maintain her image, something that resonated deeply with many viewers who had dealt with similar insecurities. Marcia was often placed on a pedestal, admired by boys at school and envied by her younger sister January. But behind the scenes, Marcia's life wasn't quite as perfect. Maureen McCormick, the actress who played her, struggled with the overwhelming pressure of fame at a young age. Trying to live up to the perfect image of Marcia Brady, McCormick began to feel a disconnect between who she was expected to be and who she really was. These internal struggles eventually led to problems that persisted into her adulthood, including battles with substance abuse and self-esteem issues. There were also wardrobe malfunctions and on-set moments that became unintended reveals, both literal and metaphorical. For instance, while the show maintained a wholesome, family-friendly tone, there were incidents where the camera caught more than was meant to be seen, whether it was a slip of clothing during a fast-paced scene or moments when Marcia's carefully managed image cracked under pressure. Though these were never scandalous by today's standards, at the time they added to the sense that the perfectly polished Marcia Brady was, in fact, human like everyone else. Marcia also struggled to live up to expectations when it came to her relationships. Several storylines showed her wrestling with boys' attention and how to remain true to herself. In one episode, she's torn between two suitors, and in another, she faces the backlash of being too confident. These story arcs demonstrated that being pretty and popular came with its own set of problems, especially for a teenage girl trying to find her place in the world. While she often smiled through it all, the cracks in her confidence revealed a depth that went beyond the shallow image many people had of her. Maureen McCormick's later interviews and reflections have further peeled back the layers of the Marcia Brady persona. She has been open about how fame at a young age disrupted her sense of identity and contributed to years of personal struggle. While Marcia Brady was seen as the golden girl of American TV, McCormick's real story shows just how much effort it took to maintain that image, and how much was lost in the process. Ultimately, Marcia Brady showed off more than she wanted to, not in any scandalous way, but in the subtle, sometimes painful revelations of growing up on television. Through both the character and the actress, audiences were given glimpses into the very real challenges of living up to a perfect image in a very imperfect world.